Most people go through life believing that the distance between where they are and where they want to be is impossibly far. They think the people who get what they want are smarter, luckier, more talented, or simply born different. But the truth is much simpler. The reason some people get what they want is because they understand a few principles that most people never learn. And if you learn them, truly understand them, and apply them, you'll begin to realize that getting what you want is not magic. It's a skill. Think about this for a second. Everything in your life right now, your habits, your opportunities, your confidence, your direction, is a result of the identity you operate from. The biggest mistake people make is trying to change their life without first changing the version of themselves that is living it. You can't get what you want by staying who you are, and this is where most people feel stuck. They're trying to achieve new results with old beliefs, new dreams with old fears, new goals with old habits. They're trying to build a new life on top of an outdated mindset. But here's the part that catches you off guard. Your life isn't limited by the size of your goals. It's limited by the size of the person trying to achieve them. If the goal is big, but the self-belief behind it is small, the mind will always shrink the dream to match the identity. That's why some people sabotage themselves. That's why they delay. That's why they give up. Not because the goal is impossible, but because the person chasing it has not yet become the version of themselves who can claim it. So the first step to getting whatever you want is brutally simple. Become someone who believes they are allowed to have it. When you believe you're not worthy, your brain finds ways to prove you right. When you believe you're behind in life, you make choices that keep you behind. When you believe success is for others, you subconsciously step back instead of forward. But when you believe deeply that something is meant for you, that it belongs to you, that you are capable of rising into it, then your mind begins to shift from limitation to possibility. You stop asking, "Can I?" and you start asking, "How do I?" And this is where curiosity enters the picture. Curiosity is the fuel of transformation. When you truly get curious about your potential instead of terrified of your shortcomings, everything changes. Curiosity opens doors that fear keeps closed. Fear says, "Don't try." Curiosity says, "Let's see what happens." Fear says, "You'll fail." Curiosity says, "But what if you don't?" And every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary started not with certainty, but with curiosity, a simple willingness to explore what they could become. But let's go deeper. Most people fail to get what they want because they approach their desires backward. They start with the dream, but never build the path. They want the outcome, but not the identity. They want the reward, but not the process. Getting whatever you want requires understanding one universal law. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. You can say you want to be confident, but if your daily habits reinforce insecurity, your confidence can't grow. You can say you want success, but if every day looks the same as the last, nothing changes. The life you want is built quietly in the days no one sees, not in the breakthroughs everyone notices. And psychologically, there's something powerful that happens when you move toward your desires with consistent action. Your brain begins to rewrite the story it tells about who you are. When you act like someone who can win, your mind begins to believe you can win. When you show up for yourself, you stop identifying as someone who quits. This is why action matters more than motivation. Action builds identity, and identity shapes destiny. There's another truth that most people never want to accept. If you want something big, something meaningful, something life-changing, you must be willing to outgrow the environment that keeps you small. This includes people, habits, conversations, patterns, comfort, and sometimes even past versions of yourself. The life you want will require the courage to disappoint the life you've outgrown. And that's where most people stop. They feel the fear, the guilt, the discomfort, and they choose the familiar cage instead of the unfamiliar freedom. But here's something freeing. Getting what you want doesn't require eliminating fear. It requires moving with it. The most successful people in the world weren't fearless. They were simply unwilling to let fear make decisions for them. They moved scared. They started unprepared. They learned as they went. And because they acted, life opened for them in ways it never opens for those who wait to feel ready. Now let's talk about alignment, something crucial and often ignored. You can want something badly, but if the life you live isn't aligned with that desire, you will always feel like you're fighting yourself. Wanting success while living in procrastination creates internal war. Wanting confidence while surrounding yourself with negativity creates conflict. Wanting peace while consuming chaos creates confusion. You get what you want when your choices stop arguing with your desires. When what you say you want and what you do daily finally move in the same direction. And here is the part people misunderstand. Getting whatever you want doesn't come from obsession with the finish line. It comes from falling in love with the climb. The process itself shapes you into the person who can handle the life you're asking for. Without the climb, you won't have the strength, the habits, the mindset, or the emotional foundation to keep what you achieve. The climb is the preparation. The struggle is the shaping. The effort is the refinement. You are not just working towards something, you are becoming someone. So here's the final truth. The truth most people realize far too late. You can have whatever you want, but you can't have it while staying the same. Every dream demands a version of you that is bigger than the one standing here today. And that is not a burden, that is an invitation. You're not chasing a goal, you're growing into a destiny. So ask yourself, what do I want? Who must I become to have it? And am I willing to start today? Not perfectly, not fearlessly, but honestly. Because the moment you stop waiting for the right time, the moment you stop asking for permission, the moment you decide to grow into the person your dream requires, that's the moment your life begins to shift. Getting whatever you want isn't luck, fate, or magic. It's alignment, identity, courage, and consistent action. It's choosing growth over fear, clarity over doubt, and purpose over comfort. And if you start today, truly start, your future will look back at this moment as the moment everything changed.